Hey, lovely Nobel team. Today, I'd like to present you the overview of design thinking. As you can see from this slide, it is also called From Zero to One and Lean Startup. From zero to one is basically probably because it is not an endless process. However, it has a lot of knowledge and a lot of things to learn. And today, I feel like I will not be able to fit everything into 1 hour video. However, I will try to make a quick overview on what design thinking is, why you want to use it, as well as I hope you will gain some valuable knowledge and some insights that you haven't thought of before from this video. Basically, design thinking might also be called how humans can collaborate to develop great innovations. And I remember reading in one article that design thinking is basically the Swiss army knife of problem solving because it's basically the human centered approach that consists of empathy, creativity, iterations, and of course, teamwork. You probably have already used it, so you might know in general what it might be. You will not come to this video thinking that it's a graphic design video like our interns do from time to time. However, still, I feel like it's something that you might get some knowledge on. Let's get started with how basically Nobel was created and where from this get on. So basically, it started 25 years ago in the IT tech companies. As you might know, that they have most of high performing team because they're the ones to innovate and to bring changes in our world. That's why mostly design thinking comes also from this technical area, as well as we can include scouting into Nobel because it's mostly about youth leadership as well as agency, real skills and fun. So we know that it's really important to be a technical person to know how to deal with spreadsheets and Google Docs. However, we have to know that soft skills are, I would say, even more important from time to time than hard skills. That is why this scouting exists in here, and that is why we feel like it's crucial. And one more thing is preparing the kids, basically. Um, that was the reason for Andrew, basically, to create Nobel. That was his concern of his kids not being able to gain the knowledge and the skills they needed in real life because he, as the person who worked in IT and who saw the real teams that were in there, the real works that was in there and that was supposed to be there, he understood that it's not something that is happening at school and it's not something his kids will learn. However, of course, it's not what he wanted as well as not a lot of parents want. So mostly school doesn't only avoid teaching right skills, however, it does a lot of damage and we will talk about it more. So what do we start from in design thinking? You can see the description from Tim Brown that it's a human centered approach and basically it consists of two things, people and technology, and it will lead you to a business success which you need. And therefrom, you can get these three circles. Of course, in Nobel, we would start with user first. It's our customers. So we want to understand what they want, what they need, what their issues are. And then we make sure that it sticks to our technology possibility as well as to our business success. Of course, every little company will think about the business success of its own thing because it's the company thing, as well as the technology that we have because we cannot create something that we don't have. A lot of people basically don't think about the user, but start with the technology. What can I do right now? And what are the things that I have to bring to the people? But it's not the right approach. Basically, we start with the user first. We ask them what their issues are, and we understand what are the things that they want. Then we find out our resources, the technology that we have, and then we make sure that it sticks to our business success. So basically, we don't have to think only about this too. I would say the user is the most important thing. However, it's still the intersection of these three circles, and this golden middle is something we want to achieve at the very end. And what we want to start with in this process is how do we make customers' life better? It's something that we gotta think about when you want to create something. You think about the humans first and the value that they will gain from the product that you're offering, as well as the emotions they will receive from what you are giving them. Uh, Basically, you've also seen these slides a lot of time, but what I would like to say here is the lower row of leadership skills building. And you can see that it involves a lot of skills like listening, networking, interviewing, negotiation, coaching, feedback. And I would say that these are top skills that stand for design thinking because first thing first, you need to know how to listen. In order to be empathetic, you need to understand that you cannot let yourself just judge and have your idea first in your head. What you need to do is actually come to the customer and start actually truly listening to him. And you need to have that desire to understand what's wrong from his point of view. How can I help you? That's basically what you need to worry about. And then there comes the empathy, as well as feedback. You need to know that as you work in a team, feedback is something that is really crucial in there and that you cannot avoid. Basically, they are the basic things for design thinking, and design thinking is the front end for agile and planned project management. So every little company, one way or another, wants to come to a stage where they operate on the highest level, and that is agile as well as the planned project management. So, in order to reach to that point where we will be organized, effective, and efficient, we need to get started with design thinking first and understand, know how to listen, understand our customer, and know how to work in a team. Only then we can reach to project management and be a great company and a great team. And of course, something not to forget is that design thinking is not only your business help, is not only your business learning way, let's say. However, design thinking is basically something that will help you in your real life, and it will be something we will also talk about a little bit further. So the reason it all exists is because world is changing, and the thing that is limiting right now is actually the humans because we have a lot of technology, we have AI, we have globalization, we have IT and the stuff happening. However, we have a lot of human issue, let's say, where we cannot always be as creative, as curious, as collaborative, and as communicative as we have to. Because in the world of technical things and of technical progress, we don't actually need to be technical anymore from like 100 point of view. What we actually need to have is are the soft skills which are listed on this slide and a lot more of them, and they will give us an opportunity to use that technology as well as come up with something that will be really useful for the people and that will help technology to evolve and humanity to still stay humanity. Um, Basically, it's something that stands for innovation. You all understand that whenever you want to create something awesome in terms of the company and to come up with something new, some product, you need to come up with innovation because everything that was already used before is something old and it was already there. However, what we want to do is to come up with something new and something that will satisfy our customer. In order to come up with innovation, we need to use empathy. Basically, I hope you all understand the definition of empathy. Um, However, the way of linking the innovation and empathy is that Unless you listen to other people, unless you truly and sincerely want to understand what is in their heads, you will be able you will not be able to make innovation. However, if you do listen to others, if you really want to know what is there and what is their problem, only then you will be able to come up with innovations. And I would say it's really important not even to listen to the customer, because a lot of times your customer will say that they want a pink phone with a lot of dozens of functions, and so that it costs like $10. However, it's impossible, and we need to understand what our customer wants and what they actually need and what they require. It means that you need to listen beyond the words of the customer, and you need to understand what their passions are, what their fears are, as well as what their needs are. Because all of us want all the best things. However, our needs might be in only phone calling our relatives, but not having a phone with dozens of functions and multi-camera or something like that. So basically, empathy is a new everything, I would say. If you want to be a better coder, know how to listen and be empathetic. If you want to be a better project manager, know how to listen and be empathetic. If you want to be a better parent or a friend, same thing. Know how to listen and know how to be empathetic. However, I would say it's not something that we learn at school, and it is something that we will learn, as well as all of the skills listed in here. They're something we gained at school, and they're something we gotta overcome within this training and with our teams. So, of course, we gained a lot of wrong behaviors at school, and there are too many of them, as you can see from the list. For instance, I am right and I have all the answers. It's not something that the teamwork stands for, and it's not something that will enable the teamwork to happen. Because whenever someone in a team says that he or she is the cleverest and has all the answers, then what is the need for me to stay in that team? As well as just do it all yourself. When you are alone, you have one brain. When you are in team of two, you have two brains. When you are a team of four, you might even go to 50 brains, because if you are collaborating on the right level, if you know how to be a great team, then there is no upper limit for you to develop yourself as well as to come up with innovations. My favorite one is to be perfect and to avoid all the mistakes. Basically, what is happening and what turns out is that humans learn from mistakes way more than they learn from books, from someone's experience, or from, I don't know, watching some videos. So you will always make mistakes, you will be wrong, you will do not the best decisions, you will make something bad. I mean, in terms of the company, in terms of the decision making. However, it's not the mistake, it's your opportunity for growth, and it's your opportunity to change it the next time, to gain this knowledge and never repeat this mistake again. And as time goes, you will make dozens of mistakes, it's fine. However, in the quick time, in real short time, I would say, you will be able to be as efficient as possible, and you will be way further than other people are, because you made mistakes, because you were not afraid of it, basically, and because you gained a lot of experience. As well as helping others, of course, it's something that stands against basically the teamwork, because helping others is the basics of teamwork, as well as teamwork is pain, of course. Disagreements is bad, it's a huge one, and it's really something that's really hard to overcome, because we are used to avoid disagreements, avoid differences of opinions, and avoid saying hey, I don't really get it, can you explain it? Or, hey, I have another point of view for that one. Because we feel like that if I tell it to a person that is cleverer than I am, he will judge me. Or if I just say it, we might be offended, we might have wrong relationship, and everything will be bad. No, it's not the case. Basically, you don't have to be a jerk saying some questions. However, when you have a difference of opinions, it's something that enables the creativity. So whenever you don't understand something or whenever you disagree with something, it's the very time for you to ask questions and sincerely try to understand what's happening in other person's heads and try to come to a certain stage of understanding for two of you. So basically, as humans, we are supposed to be curious, collaborative, communicative, and creative. But how do we get to that point? Basically, what that is the combination of teamwork, design thinking, and real project and practice. That's basically what is going to happen within this training, and so the one we will held for Nobel. We will have teamwork because you all have teams and you work in teams. It's the huge requirement for Nobel. As well as we will have design thinking. It's something on our side to help you with and to support you, and of course real project and practice. You will not work on an imaginary project on how to help farmers grow 100 cows this year. Nope. You will work on your real projects, the one you're working in with your current teams, because it will enable your growth and your understanding of what's going on. One of the really good sources is this video. You can see the QR code in here, as well as I hope you'll get this link. It is the video that you want to watch about Tim Brown, who basically popularized design thinking and brought it to Silicon Valley. Before him, it was really, really tech focused. So, what can I do? How can I solve this problem with the existing tools and knowledge that I have? But what he did, he brought the soft skilled part to this tech world and he enabled the creativity, the innovation. He showed how important it is to listen. What you learn from this video is how to listen. Don't come up with the answer right away. Don't try to ideate on something not understanding what you're talking about, as well as all the things in here. Start with listening, of course. Um, not not just convergently, but think divergently. Of course, you learn, in addition, you would learn a lot more through failure than a success, and you need to create a great, passionate, participate user base. You need to have fun, be creative and collaborative. So basically, it's the way for you to stay tuned to everything what's going on because I don't feel like anybody would like to work in a place where you just every day come there and it's a boring place where everybody judges each other and say how bad we are. And questions, questions, and questions once again. So what we need to do is start with questions with open-ended one, not something like, hey, how dare you are not doing this today, but really sincere, open, and honest questions where you want to understand how you can help this person or what you've done maybe wrong, how you can improve yourself, or what this issue is about. And one of the things also not to jump to the answers and try to talk to others and ideate on everything together as a team. Of course, basically, everything that stands for humans is psychology, so it's a bias towards actions. We gotta lose perfectionism and just try things. Literally forget that we might do something wrong and just start something out there. One more thing that you might wanna read and might wanna have a look at is why design thinking works. It goes into psychological biases, why it works this way, and one of the things it's a bias towards a negativity. For instance, back, I don't know, a lot of years ago, a lot of decades ago, and centuries, there was like, okay, if there is a predator in the bush, I'd rather be wrong and not go to that bush rather than be right and go there and he or she will eat me. So basically, right now, it's not something that we need because we don't have the predator in the bush right now, at least not that often. But what it does for the team and for the company is that it basically kills the creativity. It doesn't let us think in the best way, and it just kills the teamwork because whenever you are there as a team and whenever you hear anybody say, no, it's not going to work, or no, I have a better solution, then why would I care giving out my ideas? Because basically, if this person is the one to say yes or no to every idea, then he is the one to be accountable for it. And he is the one to control everything. So I will not care. I will just do what he or she says to me. However, it goes to that old leadership style that you all know was the one person at the top and then everybody just saying and sitting over there, not knowing what they're doing, but just trying to fit in the what that top person wants. But once again, it's not the place to boost creativity and innovations, so that's why it's not something we want to happen. One more thing and one more video you might want to watch is the how Apple uses design thinking to innovate and win. Basically, you all know how people are passionate about Apple and Apple products. And the reason for it is because Apple is focused on the user and on the customer. Back then, a lot of years ago, Apple was not the company who innovated in some way or who created something really outstanding. Nope. They just went there, they listened to the customer, and they found out what are the features they can do to their customer. What are the things that they're worried about? How can they help them understand? And Apple is basically known for their user-friendly approach and user-friendly interface, and that's all for that stands for it. Basically it's user friendly, it's the customer first, and then you try to bring your technology to the level where your customer is and what he or she wants. So yeah, basically you can see that they made personal computers and they thought about every little user that might want to need something or might want to have some problems. One more thing to talk over in the design thinking interview or overview, sorry, is the Dunning-Kruger effect and the dangers of it. So basically, you will not always know the answer, and you basically don't know the answer as usual. And the answer is not in what you actually know, in your actual knowledge, but in what you don't know. But here goes the question. So if the answer is in something I don't know, then how do I know what I don't know? And so basically, there is the team for you. You have an untapped potential of a lot of knowledge and an ability of asking questions. And that is what enables this growth. As we start learning something, as we start a new project, as we start a new discussion or a new sphere, we will think that we are all stars and that we gain all the knowledge, and it's fine. It's how our brain works. However, your team's purpose and the main meaning in there is to help you understand that there are still a lot of things that you might not know, as well as there are a lot of things to find out. And how can you recognize it? Once again, it's of course your team who will disagree with you, who will ask you questions, and that is the way for you to learn as quickly as you can. As well as the team will help you get through that valley of despair that might be really painful if you are not ready for it, because who would like to accept that they know nothing basically and that they need help at every little point? It might be not the best experience ever from the human's point of view. However, the team will help you get through this point really quickly and in the most painless way as it is possible. So you will really quickly get to the slope or alignment, and you will be able to know way more, you will be way more knowledgeable, as well as you will understand that you are there to listen to your customer and to your teammates. So by listening to others, you just soak up the knowledge and the information that they give you, and that is the real resource of the innovation and power. Um, And of course, you need to know that your colleagues will be also the ones who will come through this peak of Mount Stupid and valley of despair. So you are there to help them as the team and as the individual, of course. You are there to ask them powerful questions, to support them, to help them, and just to encourage them, to show how valuable they are and how much you want to help them sincerely, as well as it is something that they will do. And as we go through this process, your growth and our growth as the company will go at lightning speed because the growth of a high performing team is way bigger than the growth of a normal learning when you're learning over all alone. And as you become a peak of mountain stupid, you will develop yourself really quickly, and of course, the team will help. So the key to all the issues that we have right now and to all the wrong behaviors, to all the questions that are untapped right now, is the high performing teams, which will make each other better as individuals and as the team, because there are two sides of development, because you develop yourself as an individual and you develop your team. So one more question that stands there is, how can I apply design thinking and why do I need it? Design thinking is everywhere where humans are. And that's literally true because it's one of the psychological approaches, even I would say. Of course, you can use them for small businesses, for some scalable entrepreneurship, some ventures like Nobel, for nonprofits, entrepreneurships, for products, project services management, and here goes your basically teamwork, where you work on some specific project, and there is where you use design thinking. And of course, it goes into your life, into your real life relationships, and into just your life, because as you start listening to everyone who surrounds you, you will feel like your life changes at a lightning speed. That's true. Just as you have an argument with anybody, with maybe your friends or your relatives, just come there and ask them a powerful question. Show a sincere desire to listen to them, and there will be a miracle. You will see how everything changes and how your life will be really easier at this point when you know how to listen, know how to emphasize, and to help the others. But of course, in terms of the entrepreneurship and of Nobel, we use it for ideating, for product and project management. And here it goes into teams, of course, once again. So basically, it is something this Lencioni teamwork model is something that helps us understand how the team works. Lencioni wrote a book. It was called Five Destructions of a Team. And what he defined is there was that for the team, one of the most important and one of the basic skills to know is open, honest, and direct communication with respect. So basically, we don't assign blame. We just want to provide our teammates, our team leads as well, with real, honest feedback. So don't hold on everything. If you have something to say, be polite, be respectful, don't be a jerk, but go and say it out there, be direct, and try others to develop themselves because feedback is not where you've done it wrong and it's not a blaming of you, but it's your chance to learn new things and to develop yourself both as a professional and as an individual. And as long as you understand that feedback is not that equal you are a bad person, but it's for you, it exists for you to help you basically, then you will see how powerful it is and how powerful it is both when you are receiving it and when you are giving it, because you see the world changing with this feedback. The next important thing is trust and psychological safety. So it means that you can accept and you will not be blamed for your mistakes. I made a mistake, I took a risk and it failed, and once again it's fine. When you make mistakes, you learn really quickly, because as kids back then, when we were 3 4 years old, we were not afraid to make mistakes. We were not afraid to walk and fall down, to try some scary blueberry, to eat something wrong or something like that. We were there to try the world, to see how it works, maybe to do something wrong from time to time and to hit ourselves, but it's not the case. We are all fine, and that's what we do. That's how we learn in the quickest way. However, school taught us not to do it, but it's something that we gotta undo because the mistakes are the power of this world and the power of self development. And in order to know that you can make these mistakes and you will not be judged, you have to create the trust and psychological safety both inside the team and in the organization in general, where we can accept each other and where we will not be judged for what we are doing. Of course, it stands for how can I depend on the person because we are all dependent on each other in terms of work, and having an environment once again where you will not be blamed and you will not be said that you are a bad guy because you did something wrong. The next step is the constructive conflict. It goes into powerful questions. How can we? How might we? What if? And I don't agree. Um, Basically, the differences of opinion that might exist in the constructive conflict, and basically differences of opinion is the reason for the constructive conflict to exist. uh, it's something that needs to be discussed, and once again it's something that enables the creativity, and it's something that helps the organization as well as the person as well as the people to grow, because if you have a constructive conflict, you'll end up with a great solution that no one could imagine before. You two, as two individuals, let's say, you don't understand what is happening this way, and you might not agree with someone. But as you move on with your questions, as you move on with your discussion, your dialogue, you will find something that's like a golden middle, let's say, that will help you understand each other as well as that will help you come up with the great solution and make it work. So basically, that's the reason for diverse team to be there, because differences of opinion are great, and especially if there are differences in experiences, in knowledge, in culture, it will all help you understand and see the problem from different perspectives and from different angles, which will enable you to come up with the greatest innovation. Because even your user, he is diverse. There are different people who will consume your product, and you need to know what sticks to them and what matches them. And by having the diverse team, is basically what you can do. The next layer is the commitment. It's not a mistake to, it's not a problem, not a mistake, not a problem to Nobel, because we are all aligned about our mission. We all know that we want to help the humanity to survive. Basically, that's what we are doing right now. And we want to help the kids as soon as possible to overcome their issues with education and fears. And yeah, that's what we are doing. For other companies, it might be the issue when people don't see the bigger picture and they don't actually know what's going on, so they might be worried about that one. However, once again, it's not an issue to Nobel because we're all aligned about the issue and the basically the goal of Nobel existence. The next and one of the most important skills and things is accountability. It's the very moments when you hold each other accountable, when you provide each other with feedback, of course, once again, with no blame. Just saying that, hey, Andrew, it's your time to fix it because it was your task, for instance, is the way for you to once again enable his growth, because we as individuals we can't always see our problems, we can't see our mistakes. However, when we are provided with feedback, we have an unlimited opportunity to find where we are doing not the best job and to fix it and never repeat these mistakes again and be not the perfect guys but something close to that one. And of course, attention to results. What we once again have in Nobel is we gotta make it work. We gotta make sure that we make something real, and we gotta think about the end result that we will gain within this process. All these behaviors basically are written one by one here with the Bayes map, and they are the behaviors that are listed in there are the ones that will help us work, and they are the skills that we need to put into practice in design thinking, and they're all of them. Let's dive into that a little bit deeper. So, North America right now stands for open, honest, and direct communication. It's about your ability to use technology, tech, uh, your headset, your then environment, your ability to mute yourself and respect other people, um, on time, be brief because you don't want to talk for 2 hours and not let others say their thoughts and use their differences of opinion basically. Stay on topic. It's something that is really important because you don't want to talk about pin cars when it goes about project management or something like that. So we gotta make sure that we do care about each other' personal life and we share some updates that are interesting. However, it's some specific time on the meeting and then we get to work. And the norms, of course. Every little team has their specific norms as well as we have general Nobel norms which we stick to. And these things is that's what forms the open, honest, and direct communication. So it's all about being respectful, knowing how to treat people, staying on topic, once again, respect people's time, and be there to communicate. The things that might be added here is be present with your camera on and attention. It's one of the requirements in Nobel, as you know. No notification and responding in chat and with audio. Uh, the next layer is Africa. Basically, it's the trust and psychological safety place. It's when you go into help, when you start encouraging and listening to others, when you start asking clarifying questions. And they are the things that will basically enable your trust layer in the team, and that will help you as a team develop that safe place for you to be there to support each other, not to blame each other, and to actually help. Because from time to time, once again, we are humans. We might have a wrong day, we might have a wrong week, and we might just need support. And so that one for someone to say, hey, what's wrong? How can I help you? And that what should happen in a team. That is how we create the best environment and that is how we enable the best growth of the team. Basically, they are the top things and they are pretty much complicated, especially active listening. However, we as a team were able to make it possible, and that is something we gotta practice within this few weeks and few months. Once again, something maybe we want to add to this diagram and picture is respect. Always treat each other with respect. Fun. We don't have to forget that we are humans, and from time to time, we need to have fun. Offline events, some puzzles, some games, and maybe recipe sharing is a great way to basically build the trust inside the company and to show that we're all humans. We are not the robots. We are not there to blame each other or something like that. We are not the best people ever. We are just humans. We need some rest. We need some fun. We need to love each other. And actually, we need to be humans. Um, yep. The next thing goes into Europe. It's basically Explorer 3, and they are one of the top skills and one of the most important and complicated skills to achieve. And they stand for three things here: trust, constructive conflict, and commitment. So it mostly goes, let's talk about constructive conflict, where you can talk, you can find out if you disagree, if you have any questions, if you don't understand anything, if you have any issues, then you share information, you ask questions to each other, you sincerely want to find out what's happening in there and what is the issue. As well as you don't get defensive, you don't start defending your idea or start bullying the other person that disagrees with you. No, this is once again the place for you and the space for you to be creative and to feel that creativity. So, one of the things you can do is to ask powerful questions, check for understanding from time to time. Is there still a disagreement? Or maybe you just got each other in the wrong way. You didn't get what the person was saying. If there is still a disagreement and you cannot come to a shared understanding, which really happens really rarely, because if you talk and ask each other powerful questions, it turns out that most of cases is just about you not actually understanding what the other person was going to say about or what he or she meant. So, but in case it happens, you need to find areas of agreement. So, do we agree that blah blah blah? Do we all understand and do we share the opinion that blah blah blah? It will help us find where we understand each other and where we agree, and it will define the exact areas where we disagree. And yeah, after that, you got to make the decision basically. That's how it works. Uh, in the journey, you also have to once again hold each other accountable, which means you will ask for feedback and provide feedback. You don't want to hide anything, you don't want to lie, obviously. You want to be sincere, however respectful, and be there for your teammates to develop themselves, give them the opportunity to be the best people ever. And the last one is the resource versus impact. It's basically what we call the MVP. They are different alternatives for you to try when you come up with some solutions. When you make something, when you have something done out there and you have it really quickly, you don't wait for 6 months to do something, but you do something every little, whatever you agree on, 2 weeks, week, months, but you do something quickly. And the idea of the MVP is what you might have already heard is the 82s or 80/20 or the 42, where basically resource versus impact, where you give 2% of your resources and you gain 30% of your impact. Once again, it goes into losing perfectionism and not being the best one with your solution and understanding that there is still something to fix. But as you launch something with 40%, you will gain a huge amount of knowledge and feedback from your customer basically, and the opportunity to redo it. Because if you spend a lot of time on the useless thing, for instance, that the customer doesn't really need, and if you don't ask them for feedback with giving something there, then your product will be useless and you will waste a lot of resources, which is not the best way for the teams to exist. Something we might want to add to this diagram is seek to understand to be understood, as well as fix it. There are no excuses why I didn't do it. Google Work, Google Document didn't upload the file. Other team didn't do it in the right way. The moon was in the wrong position today. No, it's not gonna work. You are talking about yourself. You are the one who is responsible for your behavior and for your development. And you say what's wrong about your decisions and your things. You try to find out how to fix it, not to find the excuse why I didn't fix it. And the win win, of course, is the creating value through win win dialogue where you both find the areas where you agree and you both gain the value. So, once again, we start with human needs, and but of course, as the company, we want to focus on our business success. But what is the business success for Nobel? We make sure that Nobel is successful as long as we have the leader to learner pathway. It will enable us to scale and it will give us an opportunity to reach those 30 million kids that we are talking about. Because basically, the humanity needs Nobel and the kids need Nobel. And as we receive that feedback that Nobel is amazing, it's the best place I've ever could found, and something like that, you understand that every little mistake is equal dozens of kids at least. So what we want to do is our business success is that we want to scale and that we want to create a leader learner process. It's where you will work together with the teams, where people will stick to each other, where we will find facilitators out of interns, where we will find interns out of where we will find team members out of interns, and we will be developing teamwork this way and leadership skills in our interns. In what way we can do it is we start with knowledge, it's the knowledge base. Basically, it's the peer learning phase. You start with knowledge, then you go into apprentice, then you master something. And you get the leadership page and the upper level only if you teach someone to master the skill or the course or whatever is there. So basically, this peer learning is accelerating the learning itself, I would say maybe even more than 3x. I don't know, we have to have a research on that one. And you get leadership if you get mastery, as well as it's something that helps us find new leaders and be there to support them, support their leadership skills, and show them how amazing the world of leadership is. It's not something that you will say someone to do and they will do it, but it's the place where we will support each other. One more thing that we got to learn within our journey is don't say no, never say no, and ask your powerful questions. That is basically the superpower. Once again, as humans back then, thousands of years ago, we learned better not to try the blueberry that we don't know. However, it stops us from the creativity. Right now, what we gotta do is we don't say that it won't work. We rather ask a powerful questions. How can we sure that we deliver this project on time? What if we use the spreadsheet rather than the Google document? And basically, hearing the questions that you are given activates that creativity. And what's important to do at this stage is not to raise defensiveness. We don't want to become defensive and to be hedgehogs, which will hide in their inside. But we want to understand what the other person is experiencing, what he thinks about it, what the team thinks about it. And now we got to fix it. We found the issue and we got to fix them. And we help ideating. We don't say no. We ask each other powerful questions. We provide each other feedback and we give them some ideas. However, it's the team's choice to decide on it. So let's get into design thinking overview. Yeah, really quickly. What we start with is the complex problem statements, and it starts from the customer. It's not our imaginary thoughts, our imaginary idea of what we think might be an issue, but it's actually not. However, it's something that we observed from our customer. We saw that it was an issue, someone told us, and we saw that it was repetitive, for instance. And there you go, we have the complex problem statements. By the way, it should be complex problem statements. For instance, I don't know, not being able to reach to a cup of tea is not a problem, a complex problem statement. Of course, it's a problem statement, however, not a complex one. And if you found the complex problem statement where there are a lot of steps to be done, you then find the team. In the team, we have the team lead. Basically, it's how it's shown on the diagram. However, the team lead is not the one to make the decision and to be the person to solve all the issues. But basically, team lead is the one to enable the team, to help them out, to support them, and to solve some issues if the team is stuck. That's basically the idea of a team lead. It's not the person who will tell you what to do. The team members also have to be diverse, cognizant, and competent and committed. Diverse, we already talked about it. It's about diversity of opinion, being able to talk. Competent, it's about the knowledge that you bring to the team. You gotta understand what we are talking about, and you gotta know, you gotta have the knowledge about what's going on in there. As well as you have to be committed, but once again, hopefully it's not an issue to Nobel because we all are committed to our problem statements and we all want to solve the issue that we're working on. It's education issue. In addition, we gotta be mission aligned and have overlapping expertise. By the way, overlapping expertise is probably something we didn't cover before. Overlapping expertise stands for having differences of opinions. Basically, when you create a team, there will be people with maybe similar skill sets And that's actually great and really awesome because that is what will enable the constructive conflict and the ideation process and the best creativity. As well as, of course, we need to have the explore three levels of skills and the teamwork skills. Then what we start to is we talk to the customer. We ask them, hey, what do you think? We don't ask them, hey, what do you think about my problem? Here is my problem. Please tell me what the problem is about. No, we just go there and listen to them. What are the issues that they see? And we find the pain points that they see, that they have. We hear their needs and emotions. As humans, we are really emotional creatures, and we stick to what brings emotions to us. So basically, we need our customer to feel emotional about the product that we later on will produce, because it should be something that will change their life and that will bring real value to them. As well as we gotta find their fears and desires. It's the inner layer. It's something that is there, and it's something that that gives us an opportunity to understand what are their deep desires and deep things that they're concerned about. The next thing we go to is the competition. Actually, it's not what you can research in Google. It's mostly what your customer sees. When you come to the customer, you ask, hey, what are the other places you can get education from? What are the other resources you might learn design thinking from, or project management, or Python? And then you ask them, and you will be two things. You will be informed about the customer and you will know what's happening, as well as it will tell you about the offerings that are there, and you will know what you might want to offer. You don't want to copy what exists already. However, you want to offer something which is unique, and you will not know if it is unique unless you know what is there. And basically, what you want to is you want to know how to win, and for that one, you need to know once again what already exists in there. The next thing what you got to research is the industry, is basically what was there in the past, what has already worked, the standards and trends of the industry which are happening, as well as the internal resources. That is what we have, what we're good at, what is our time and talent that we can have. And the next step that we get to is very important one, and it is the stage where we will get to the constructive conflict and the difference of opinions. It is making sure to get to a shared understanding. So, what we do is we make sure that everyone has the knowledge of what has just happened when we reviewed the customer, competition, industry knowledge, and internal resources. We make sure that everyone is on the same page and everyone shares the general idea of what's going on and what our research stands for. And once again, that is the place to ask powerful questions, to disagree, to make sure that you understand each other, because you cannot proceed with the next step unless you get through this and in the most effective way. Um, Basically, the next step that will take you. But once again, you don't talk about the solution before you get to a shared understanding. There is no even possible thought of a solution in there. You just get the knowledge, get the information, and just after you got to a shared understanding, you start ideating. The first thing that you do is the idea generation, basically, it's the brainstorming. You need probably a couple of days, and most often you do it asynchronously. You need a few days, a few offline days, you think about it, you have the idea in your head, and you just write down the ideas that pop up in there. You might do something not connected with the work, but a great idea might pop up, and you will just write it down. After that one, you narrow everything that you have. You ask, what can I do about it? Does it really solve what I have? And you make sure that it is divergent and interactive. The next stage, you got into idea improvement. You ask questions, how to, how can, how might we. Basically, once again, is the stage where you ask each other powerful questions and you are as curious as you were at the age of 3, probably. You start you start asking questions. You want to understand what's happening in the other person's brain and how we can improve the ideas that are there. You might have crazy ideas, you might have, to the first sight, unrealistic ideas. However, how it turns out that from time to time the unrealistic ideas, as we call them, are the ones that work because they are the ones that bring innovation and creativity. After that one, what we are doing is we receive feedback from the outside. Basically, we have just had the feedback loop of the asking powerful question inside the team. And the next stage we want to get to is the feedback from the outside. We want to we want to present a couple of ideas, the best ones that got through the idea improvement stage, and we want to put them in front of the people who will disagree with us and whom we trust. It's really important for us to know these people and to know that they will ask really good questions, as well as we know that they have the expertise to help us, that they are somehow connected with our problem, and that they will be a great source of feedback and information for us. And basically what you can do is you can go through the step lots of times. So of course you have to remember that you should put something out there, but still it's an endless process where you can do it again and again and again as you feel it, and you can improve yourself and your ideas. And after that one, the team sorts out the ideas. What happens in there that you don't have those people sorting out the ideas for it for you. You don't have other people blaming your ideas and deleting them. It's only the team's choice to decide on whether you want this idea to exist in your list, basically, or not, whether you want to do it or not. And you make sure that it is feasible, we are good at it, it is worth doing it, how much it will cost, and so on and so forth. And after that one, we get to the last stage, which is the MVP stage. We gotta try something, we gotta do something, we gotta make sure that we use the MVP idea. And MVP is not gonna be the solution. It might be something where you learn from. It might be not perfect, it might have some mistakes, but once again, the mistakes is where you learn from, and you try it and you do it once again, because basically design thinking is the loop process. And you want to be back and you want to improve your idea, you want to be back to the customer, ask them again and go through the entire research again. You want to ideate and ask feedback on it, and to improve your MVP. And this is basically an endless process of improving the work process and the product, because the world is changing really quickly and we gotta stick to it. So in order to stick to it, we gotta improve ourselves all the time. So that is what is happening. Let's talk a little bit more right now about the team, because we said that it's really important to have a team in design thinking, but why? Um, because we want to keep the speed of the team efficient as high as possible. It's the reason for having small teams. Basically, we don't want to have, as you can see on the slide, more than 7 people. The ideal number is 3 to 4 people, and sometimes 4 people go into a 6 relationship. Sometimes it goes into more, it might go into 21, as you can see. But as you know, decision making take time, and as you have that many relationship, it will take you too much time to agree on everything. And as too many people are involved, it will take too much time for everyone to agree on everything and to get to a shared understanding. And what we want to do is we want to keep moving really fast. We want to be productive and we want to stick to the MVP. So we want to have small team, we want to keep the team small and make quick decisions, and of course lose the perfectionism, because we're gonna make mistakes, we're gonna learn out of them, and we're gonna make the world better. Basically, what stands for the team is each team functions at the big brain. It's really a big effective brain which will tackle really complex problems as you build all of those skills which are mentioned in the pages and which are mentioned in the Lencioni triangle. You will see that your team becomes not a team of 4 but a team of 50. in terms of the brain power. It depends on the team once again. However, you can reach a point where your team will have no upper limit to operate, and basically they will be able to create everything that is possible. And then Nobel will consist of a lot of these teams. We will have team of team that will give each other feedback and that will interact with each other, which will result into the way of creating the organization. So that's how Nobel is going to look like. Basically, we don't want the CEO to be in control of everything or one person to be in there in charge. No, we actually don't want any control to happen. What we want to have is we want to have the self-managed, highly autonomous teams that provide each other with feedback inside and outside of the teams, which are really goal-oriented, which have weekly updates and share with all, which hold each other accountable, and which have peer review and assessed monthly. One thing that high performing teams do differently is their willingness to talk live and directly, their effective run meetings, and of course, one of the most important things, once again, we are humans. We don't have to forget about fun, about offline get togethers in Yaramcha, about connecting and working together. We want to celebrate and show appreciation for what we're doing regularly. We want to encourage our teammates. As well, we want to give genuine and actionable feedback really quickly. We want to be engaged in the constructive conflict in order to get as deep understanding of the problem and of the issue as we can. And we gotta trust among team members to really share. We need trust inside the company and along the team itself. And as we do it back actually, and in addition, we don't need any gatekeeping to happen. We need it to be fun, we need it to be helpful and feedback. We never gotta say no to each other, and just what we do is we ask questions, we support each other, and we are always there for you. It will help us enable each other, it will make it fun, as well as hopefully it will make Genie really happy. That was the little overview for me. I hope you will enjoy it and you will receive some valuable information. And yeah, stay tuned to new video. Thank you. See ya.